Hello, everyone, and happy Saturday and happy game day to all of you Tar Heel fans out there. My name is Nathan. I am one half of your Heel Brothers, and I'm by myself today, hanging out, chilling out, getting ready for the game right here in just a few hours as the North Carolina Tar Heels are going to try and, once again this week, try to right some wrongs that they committed earlier on in the week. A nasty, nasty game on Monday night against TCU, 48-14, and it is a great day to be able to change that, to change the narrative of this program moving forward out of today. Hopefully, you guys are excited. I know that I am, and we got ourselves an interesting night today. We've already got some score predictions out there. 35-21 UNC says Shadow Computing. I'm almost there with you. I have it a little bit. This is from a YouTube commenter. I have it a little bit more of a blowout. I have, what was it, 34-14, I think it was, in my predictions from the game prediction right there just yesterday, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, we were a little bit late on our content this week. We were trying to get a couple of different people on for the scouting report. Unfortunately, a lot of sickness hit this week, and a lot of other things hit with our guests. So just the same thing with Jeff. We were supposed to do a pod with Jeff. He had some sicknesses and things going on, and he wasn't able to make it. But we'll get him next week. So today is game day. I'm excited. On today, I didn't realize this. I've been watching the NC State Virginia game, which by the way, Virginia looks a whole heck of a lot better than they did. Florida State as well, 49-0 against, what is it, Eastern Alabama or something of that nature. Yeah, it's quite the blowout, to say the least, against that team. I think they've already benched Thomas Castellano, so Florida State's feeling really good about themselves, and they absolutely should. But my brother's standing right here in front of me. If he would, are you coming in or are you not?
I'll just come say hey.
You just come to say, well, leave. I'm just kidding. Come on in. If you're going to get in here, get in here. Is that all you got?
No, that's all I got. I switched up uniform. I went from football to baseball.
You're about to knock off my stuff here.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to be gentle.
Yeah.
Got a whole nice setup back here.
Yes.
We hit the
they can't see that.
Oh.
No, they can't. They just see the Chapel Hill thing.
The North Carolina to LA Ram ratio is really off.
Well, it's because this used to be the Ram wall. Again, they can't see this stuff. Anyway, it's game day, so we're going to have ourselves a great time today, and look forward to North Carolina going down there and handling business. I expect nothing less than them to go do that. The state of North Carolina is blessed with a ton of different games today. Yes, 6 o'clock. FSU looking like a playoff team right now. Yep, 100% Shadow. They are looking great right now, dude. The state of North Carolina's got a ton of different games going on currently right now. Virginia's looking fantastic. And can I help you?
I was just trying to see the Virginia score.
I think they were up by 10 last I checked.
Is Duke and Illinois played yet?
They're playing currently. Everybody's playing right now, outside of us. Yeah. 14-13 currently. Illinois is up ahead of Duke, 56-0. East Texas A&M. I thought it was East Alabama. I'm sorry. East Texas. Baylor and SMU looking really good. 24-21 currently in the third quarter is Virginia, NC State. Wake Forest is getting ready to start playing any minute now. It's a great day in the state of North Carolina. You got all these teams playing, everybody playing in the triangle, and then North Carolina finishes off tonight against Charlotte. So let's talk about this game, man. This game, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, or technically Thursday night when we recorded all that stuff. But I've had a little bit more time to think about this game. And Nick Saban, as a matter of fact, whilst I was watching College Game Day this morning, brought out an interesting point that not many people are talking about. I have saw even our good friend Tar Heel Ron, who's not right here with us right now currently, was talking about, kind of screw this. The team is horrible. They're god awful. They're super bad. We saw it on Twitter. We saw it everywhere else. It's so bad. And then, this could be the best thing that could have ever happened in North Carolina, is getting embarrassed live on national television that Monday night with the whole universe watching you. I mean, I've never saw production like that unless it was the national championship game and or an NFL game, the way they showed everything about the game. I mean, they didn't do Clemson and LSU that way. They didn't do any game like that throughout the weekend. Outside of North Carolina, the presentation was just outstanding. The way they did it, North Carolina got absolutely exposed, and Carolina, I think, needs that. I think they've needed to go out on the road and get beat. But Nick Saban was talking about earlier on today, and I'll kind of briefly summarize this. But he come out and said, when he came from the Cleveland Browns and went to Michigan State, that they didn't know how they would be and everything else, and they had to go up against Nebraska, who just come off a national championship, really good team, and he went up against Michigan, or the Michigan State went up against Nebraska, and they got beat like 56-7. And at the end of the game, the coaches meet at the center of the field. The Nebraska head coach looked at Nick and was like, "Hey man, you're not as bad as you think you are." And Nick kind of reiterated that when it came to Bill Belichick and this team. You're not as bad as you think you are. To me, that game, the TCU game, and what I hope to see tonight, because tonight's going to tell us a little bit more. And now it's not going to tell us everything that we didn't know about this team, but we can gauge some things out of this game one way or another, depending on how Carolina plays. And that is the fact that, number one, they're going into a rocking atmosphere. The Jerry Richardson Stadium holds 15,000 fans. I think they've added in another 1,500 to 3,000 seats, temporary seats, just for this game. Chris Lane's going to be doing a big concert like Chase Rice did for us last week. And it has been deemed like the biggest game in Charlotte football history. So, and by the way, Charlotte football fans are not some run-of-the-mill fans. Dude, they're loud, they're proud, they're excited, they love their Charlotte 49ers. They do not care for North Carolina, and they're going to be looking to take our heads off. That's what they want to go do. They've got all the momentum in the world coming. The brand new head coach, and they've got some similar questions to their team as we do ours. But they're going to have the rocking atmosphere. They're going to have their fans behind them. And Carolina is going to come in having a ton of questions about their team. How do they handle this stuff? Do they stay composed? Do they stay are they playing sound fundamental football? These are all questions that we're going to start to get some answers to. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this team plays, because I believe that they're going to respond. I don't think this team is as bad as Monday night said. TCU's a really good football team, and they're a super good football team that's going to be looking to potentially go win the Big 12 and could very well possibly do it. Them and Arizona State are the two teams to keep an eye out for in that conference, which is a very good conference to say the least. But North Carolina came in with Bill Belichick, and a lot of people, national media, and there were even times that maybe even I thought that this team is going to get flipped on its head immediately, and they're going to be pretty daggum good. Well, they're going to have some growing pains. And I take Deion Sanders at Colorado as a perfect example. Deion in his first year, if you guys remember, they played TCU as well at TCU. That was the year they came off of the national championship game and went out there and they won. They won like the first couple of games. They were 17th in the country. Boom. ESPN College Game Day was out there. All the noise. First Take was out there. They ultimately ended up only winning 4 games that year. But they started out hot. They had all the the media and everything was there. They started out amazing. Oh my God, here we go. I would rather us be the reverse of that team. I would rather us, maybe struggle in the beginning, get embarrassed game 1, have to go through 3 weeks of figuring yourself out, then playing Clemson. And Clemson's going to be a big, to me, it's going to be a measuring stick game for you. I don't think it's a game that you go out there and win. I've actually already penciled it in a loss before we saw the TCU game. But Roy Blake, also great to see you, brother. But for sure, Carolina can take these next 3 weeks after being served some major servings of humble pie, to say the least, and they can take it and they can build on it over these next 3 weeks. You got Charlotte this week. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere, no matter where you're playing. No matter, I don't care the venue, how many or how many seats it sits, whatever the case may be. An atmosphere like you're going to walk into tonight, like you're going to walk into again in a couple of weeks when you go down to Central Florida, cannot be taken lightly. We saw what North Carolina Appalachian State was like. That was a game that you had to go grind out. These are games that are not just give me games. We expect what's going on, Locked On Tar Heels? Isaac, what's going on, brother? We expect Carolina to come out and talent win out. That's why all of us, I think the vast majority of people are picking Carolina to win in a double-digit blowout, to say the least. But what they're getting ready to walk into, they got to go in there and go prove it. Upsets happen every Saturday. We see that all the time. It's time for Carolina to go in there and prove to the world who the heck they are, and continue to build continuity. That's what I want to see in this game. I want to see continuity. I want to see fundamental football being played, and I want to see a coaching staff playing to the strengths of their players. And that really zones in for me when it comes to the quarterback position and how they run this offense. To me, Freddie Kitchens has got a lot of questions that I hope to see answered today, or beginning to start being. I don't want to have more and more questions about this offense coming out of tonight's game. Charlotte is a team that's going to pose some problems. They got some ball players over there. One of them being J.Q. Conley. Well, we know him very, very well. The defensive end, Curtis Simpson, former North Carolina player there, who I keep confusing with Andrew Simpson, our new linebacker over there. But can they move the ball down the field? 404 yards passing last week given up by Charlotte to Appalachian State. App State doesn't have Joey Aguilar anymore. He's in Tennessee. They got a whole new offense over there. They're a brand new team, and they came out immediately and just started dicing up Charlotte. And it could have gotten even worse. There was a couple of drops, and then Jaquarius Conley made that just miraculous daggum force fumble down there in the end zone, which is crazy. But Carolina's got to come out and they got to go play some sound football today. They've got to get after it, and they have to be looking and poised. They got to be going out chomping at the bit, wanting to just destroy this Charlotte team. And from what we've heard, listening to Andrew Jones of Tar Heel 24/7, he's talked about it a lot this week, how North Carolina has really answered and composed themselves very well after last week's game on Monday. Handling the media the day after, or a couple days after, handling the media, the way they've been in practice, the way they've answered questions, the way that they're talking and holding themselves is a whole heck of a lot different than what we're used to at North Carolina, which is huge. That is huge for us, because if Carolina can take a thumping like that, a humbling like that, the right way, and use it as motivation and as a way to get refocused, like, okay, all right, maybe we bought into the hype a little bit too much. We got to go play football now, not highlight drama, whatever the case may be. We got to go play football. Let's go do that. And that's what I want to see out of North Carolina today. I want to see a team that's poised, that one that's fundamentally sound, and a team that's playing with an edge that I look to see them keep throughout the duration of the season. A Bill Belichick-led team, really, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, a Steven Belichick-led defense. We saw that defense last year. If you guys saw it any at all, go look at the Washington defense that they had last year. Really, really good defense that was headed by guys like Thaddeus Dixon, Kamari House, even though he was a true freshman last year, coming in, making some big-time plays, and also having Steven Belichick really leading that squad. So, to me, the TCU game is game one. And you guys, if you guys saw we've been doing this for 2 years. We've been talking about North Carolina football and basketball and everything else for 2 years now. So you've saw the last couple of years football wise, us being 6-0 in the country, to losing to Virginia at home. And when you can kind of tell there's shifts in momentum and in the way the teams handle stuff, I was not very pissed at all. Actually, I wasn't. If you guys watched the watch party, I wasn't angry a bit during that game, because even though obviously you're super high optimistic and you buy into like, hey, let's go win these football games, and we're gonna go do this because Belichick's coming in. You buy into that. Some of us did, and I'm definitely one of them, and I'm definitely gonna claim that right now. You still understand in the middle of watching what we watched on Monday night, especially live. I saw a lot of bright spots for North Carolina. It's going to take some time to really put these things together. The offensive game planning was the one that was the most baffling to me. I felt like our defense played very well, and especially in that first half, but they just kept getting put out on the field because the offense went from, looking to move the ball like they did in that first drive to, hey, we're just going to run it, and we're not even going to disguise that we're going to run it. Let's run power, baby. Let's run this thing. And TCU, by the way, meet us at the line of scrimmage because we're going to be right here. And it was very baffling to me to see that. But our defense kept working, man, and then the offense gives up 14 points to the defense. That hurts. This was a 10-7 ball game until the pick six. And then it was a 17-7 ball game. Then things started to fumble a little bit here. But the defense gave you plenty of chances to go out there and to go answer, and getting an interception for themselves, forcing an interception, putting a lot of pressure. And I got to give Josh Hoover credit, man. That kid, Carolina, people was like, oh, their defensive line is horrible and they're god awful and this, that, and the other stuff. There were a lot of pressures on Hoover, but he had to scramble out. He's very good at that. He's quick on his feet. He's quick on his decision making. Also, got to think he's one of the fastest throwers in the country. His time to throw, if you guys watch him throughout that game, when he snapped the ball, the instant read was to McAllister on the right-hand side, on the outside side, to Thaddeus Dixon, which Thaddeus just had a great game, and I think he only got targeted twice. I think those 2 balls thrown his way, and both of those incompletions. So he completely stopped throwing to there, but it was instantly like boom, and he was already to the left-hand side. He had already made the read and crossed the field, and boom, he was at left to Dwyer, who was standing open all night, just singing karaoke. It's an interesting night. Roy Blake on aging. I love that name, by the way, dude. That is great. Looking forward. I am too, brother. I am too. I am absolutely looking forward to seeing tonight's game. And I'm glad we're going to be able to do this thing together, guys. This is going to be fun. So 6 p.m. tonight, you guys are going to be able to come out and hang out with me if you'd like during the live watch party. And we're going to be having ourselves a good time. It'll be in this setting, so it won't be as grandiose as the last one was. But it'll still be a good time as well. I believe Alan's going to be on with us, either here or on the video screen with us. I'm planning on tonight having the radio broadcast behind this thing, and I think it's gonna be a really good time. The best Hill brothers will be there. I know he's not talking about him. Okay. Let's put that to the test. Let's give him the full week of videos to do all on his own, or let him do the watch party by himself, and then I'll show you guys the array of texts that come my way when he is live. We could go back to those from Tar Heel Game Day last week, where I was unfortunately having lawnmower issues, which I did again today, by the way. Bad issues this morning, so it was not a fun morning that way. I've done a watch party by myself. When did you do a watch party by yourself? I'd love to know this. I don't remember this at all. Like a full-on watch party by himself. I'd be curious to see how that went last year. Well, he's going to show that to me because I don't remember this one single bit. But hey, the ACC is having themselves a great day. Currently, right now, I'm going to look at scores as we take a gander at this thing here. Syracuse is getting beaten 17-6 by UConn. Is this at Syracuse? This is at Syracuse, right? 100%, right? Doesn't show me. Is Syracuse or not Syracuse, but is UConn supposed to be really good this year, or decently good? I didn't realize I don't know if this is up to date, but UConn comes in as a 10.5 point favorite. Is that a legit deal? Is that like up to date right now? Because that's wild to me if that's the case. And yes, it is at Syracuse. That is crazy to me because I thought that Syracuse is going to be a pretty decent team. So seeing that Florida State's up 63-0 against East Texas A&M, that is crazy, dude. Still 14-13 Illinois right now, third quarter. Illinois got the ball over Duke. 34-31 NC State at the end of the third quarter, and it looks like NC State just scored the touchdown to put them up right there as well. Pittsburgh's beating Central Michigan 24-10. Wake Forest and Western Carolina just got started, but you got Georgia Tech Gardner-Webb, which isn't too crazy. Clemson and Troy. Troy has always been a team that has given Clemson issues, but they are a 30.5 point favorite tonight, which is wild to me. But you got California against Texas Southern, Miami against Bethune-Cookman, which they are a 55.5 point favorite. North Carolina still 13.5 point favorite against Charlotte. Virginia Tech is a 1.5 point favorite, basically a 50-50 with them. And Vanderbilt, Michigan State, a 3.5 point favorite over Boston College. And BYU is a 20 point favorite over Stanford. And Louisville there last night, I thought was going to give JMU a run for their money, which is wild. I thought JMU was going to pull off that thing. So it was interesting last year. And he says JMU. Boy, did you do a full watch party for that game? Because that would shock me. We'll have to double check, see how that watch party went, because that would have been awesome, to say the least. But I want to talk about keys to this game for North Carolina. And defensively, it's going to be stop the run, because I like Connor Harrell. Connor Harrell's a good dude. Connor Harrell is a guy he is a very likable person, and he has skills. But for some reason, when he steps out on the field, he never looks comfortable, ever. I don't know what it is. He's got great skills. I've saw him in practice. I've saw him in a spring game. He looked amazing. But in a game setting, it just looks like he is just all over the place, which is wild to me, considering that he was in the state of Alabama, where he came from. He came from the state of Alabama. I think won 3 state championships in the state of Alabama. Comes to North Carolina, is sitting behind guys like or Drake. I think he missed out on Sam, but he sat behind Drake. Got to see what Drake was all about. Got to learn behind him for 2 years, and then got to step out on the field. I thought he did fairly well in the bowl game against West Virginia, all things considered. I mean, the offensive line did him no favors that game. But then after that, it's just been, the Max Johnson deal. When he comes in Minnesota, he looked scared to death. In Charlotte last year, he had some moments where he looked pretty good. And then NC Central happened, and it just was not good. And you brought in Jacoby Criswell, and Jacoby kept it ever since. And then, like when he saw the field, every once in a while, like I think he saw the field. Maybe it was during the JMU game. He saw the field for a snap and fumbled it. But I honestly think, to me, passing the ball, they've got 2 wide receivers. Justin Olsen being a former Tar Heel, number 1, who's really good, but also Sean Brown as a guy who can beat you down the outside and downfield. He loves go routes. Those are 2 guys you got to look out for, but I don't know if I trust Connor being able to get them the ball consistently to where they lean on him. I don't think Todd Fitch is going to do that. I think this is going to be a game in which they're going to try and run the ball. CJ Stokes is a pretty solid running back for them, and they're going to run the ball. And I think that's exactly what they're going to. I think they're going to try and throw some design quarterback runs in there for Connor as well. Saw some of that last week against App State. But this is a time for Carolina to really start to learn to shore up that D line when it comes to guarding against the run, because I think that's exactly what Charlotte's going to do. Now, they could completely throw that game plan out and just start trying to throw it all over the place. If that's the case, Marcus Allen better have a good day, because today is going to be a big day for Marcus Allen, because they all saw the same game film. Now, Connor knows Marcus. They're good together, right? They've spent time together. They've done time. So do you expect Marcus to have that bad of a game back-to-back games? I'm going to say not. I'm going to hope to God not, put it that way. The linebackers looked really good. I like Kamori House coming off the edge the way he does. When he slides down, man, he is quick, he is fast, and he's intense, dude. And Andrew Simpson, I am highly pleased with that as my linebacker. So Carolina's got to, establish the line of scrimmage immediately, because if they don't, then Charlotte's going to gain some confidence, and then you're going to be into a dogfight, because the crowd's going to feed off of that. They're going to see it. They're going to feed off of it, and they're already going to be loud enough as it is. They've got to feed off of the energy that the lines of scrimmage set. Christo Kelly cannot be getting blown off the ball like he did last week, or Chad Lindbergh. We got to snap the ball. We got to be able to snap the ball, and we got to be able to block for Geo. Have they announced a full? I haven't saw this yet, but have they announced a full depth chart to today's game? I haven't saw one. If they have, I haven't been on social media a ton this morning, though, as a matter of fact. So, I need to look and see. I don't think I've saw one, though. I don't think I have. I know the unofficial one came out and Gio was on it, which is good if Gio is ready to go, because to me, Gio's got way too much potential to see him for 2.5 quarters and sit him. And I'm really hoping that he's ready to go health-wise to be able to play today. I do think he will be, which would be good for Carolina. They need that. They need somebody like Gio, especially with an offensive line that looks like it's definitely going to be susceptible to some things. He needs to be able to be a guy to be able to move throughout the pocket and move out and run and be a dual threat and really keep defenses honest. That way they just can't key in on a few things, so Carolina's got to do that. They got to establish the line of scrimmage just first and foremost. They also got to establish passing game. They got to establish the passing game. Got to be a team that is moving the ball around. Gio's got to go for more than just Jordan Shipp. Jordan Shipp's going to have a great year doing what Jordan Shipp does. He is awesome, and I love that guy. I love him to death, right? But there's other players out there. There's other receivers. Kobe Pacer, hope to see him some out there. You got Nathan Leacock and Isaiah Johnson and all these other guys. We didn't see any of Sneed on Monday night, which I figured that we would. Definitely have to do that. Brett Weeks, they need to embarrass Charlotte. Yeah, I'm with you that if they go out and embarrass Charlotte, then we have some. We're starting to see the answers that we want to see, which is good. Now, Charlotte didn't have a great game. We don't know if they're a good team yet. They've got some good pieces, but they're also trying to figure themselves out as well. That's why I think it starts. You need to start tonight by playing well. I need to carry it over the next 3 weeks leading up to Clemson, building good habits, continuity within the team, building on your fundamentals. Make sure you're a fundamental football team, and that gets you to Clemson, where you're going to be tested just like you were against TCU, if not even more, there as well. And hopefully you're a lot healthier then as well. And Gio ends up being the guy that we would hope he would be, which has been pretty good. So I am looking to see that also shoring up tackling. That's another thing. Alan pointed at it right there in the comments. You got to be able to tackle. You got to finish tackles. I can't stand the whole shoulder tackle nonsense. I can't stand that junk, especially in the open field. No. You need to wrap up and hold on for dear life and make whoever it is, whether it be a running back, a receiver, tight end, doesn't matter. Whoever you're trying to wrap up, they're going to have to push you off of them in order for you to miss that tackle. That's the only way that's going to happen. And I hope we see that some more. Gavin Gibson had issues with that. Marcus Allen had a ton of issues like that. You got to be physical. Practicing thud is over. 100%. You got no more thud practices, which is it's kind of funny because AJ was mentioning that this week at how the team looked like they were practicing thud out there. Now, obviously, there's going to be a ton of players coming in and out in this game. Belichick said it himself in the press conference that he is still evaluating players, and that's perfectly okay. We don't expect to have the best 11 out there right now and to know, oh, this is exactly who we are as a team. There's going to be a filling out stage. You don't want to peak right now. You do not want to peak right now. You want to be a team learning yourself. And, Carolina's going to be doing that. They're going to have people running in and out and rotating, which is perfectly fine. Let them do that. But when players are out there making the most of the moment, and let's start to see who the players are, who these studs are. Currently, right now, the people that stood out last week, in my opinion, defensive side of the ball, you had Andrew Simpson, Kamari House, Thaddeus Dixon for sure. I thought that Smith Vilbert had some moments where he looked very good. Leroy Jackson as well, the D tackle. Yes, the D tackle. He looked really good in my opinion at times, and even Mekhi Bayer, he came in and played fairly well in my opinion during that game. That's about it defensive wise on that side. Just those guys. Melcart had a couple of plays, not enough. He did a good job of setting the edge. Him and Mekhi both did, but they it just unfortunately didn't come out in their favor. Unfortunately, just because Hoover was just able to move so well in and around the pocket, which was and out of the pocket, which is great. But on the offensive side of the ball, Jordan Shipp looks really good. Jordan Shipp looks really, really good. Marcus Allen does need to redeem himself this week. That's going to be a guy that people are going to have to watch for. Caleb Cost had some moments where he looked really good, and then he's back and forth. Him and Marcus Allen, in my opinion, really mirror each other because they have moments where they look really good and then moments they look extremely lost. And, there are some times that Caleb definitely had that. And, this is his second season now. He didn't play a game until I think it was the West Virginia Bowl game was when he got his chance. And he was a dual sport athlete. Last year, he was a dual sport athlete between football and baseball. This year, he committed solely to football. So I want to see him continue to, become more refined, more principled, more disciplined, and for him to continue to build that vision that you want out of a guy at his position. And he has all the I see all the abilities for him to be able to go do it. He's just got to go do it. He's got to go prove it out there on the field. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But having the instincts like he had when that ball got tipped up by Kamari House to come down with it, tough catch, but to be able to do that, like those are the moments when he's able to sniff out some reads and really do a good job of wrapping up. He has a great job at times of wrapping up, tackling, and being thunderous with his tackling, just like a Stick Lane was last year. But then he has some moments where he wants to do that whole shoulder tackle nonsense. It just does not work. Sometimes it does, but 9 times out of 10, it's not going to do it, bro. And especially in the open field, I can't stand that junk in the open field. because all they're doing is just basically bouncing off of you and just going on about their day. But yeah, Carolina's got some issues they got to figure out offensively. I was impressed with Max Johnson. I really was. I want Gio to be the quarterback, and the reason that's not to say anything bad about Max, but you brought in Gio for this reason. You brought him and paid him the money to come in. I think it's $2 million a year for 2 years, which it's ultimately $4 million. You brought him in because of his ability to be a dual threat quarterback. He has the ability to put the ball downfield in some really good spots. And at least his film showed that. Can he continue to do that? And can he be that for this team like he was brought in to be? And that's the biggest question for me, is that. And I want to see that today. And I think that he definitely can. And I'm just hoping the play calling allows for him to do. Also, Caleb Hood, dude. Caleb Hood played a really good game, man. Caleb has been a guy who, when he is healthy, plays really well. And he plays really well anyway, but then he drops some weight. I think it was 15, 20 pounds. And it just comes out and he looks dialed in. And I love to see that because Carolina needs that in their running back room, because we all heard about Benjamin Hall coming out of fall camp. That Benjamin Hall may be the best, pass blocking back that we have. Could be the best back all around that we have. Davion Goss, obviously, unfortunately, just did not have a good game and cap it off with that fumble on the handoff. That can't happen. And but you brought in, Caleb Hood coming in, staying with he hit the transfer portal. Hit the portal, came back, stayed with this team, and has really done a great job. Hope to God he stays healthy, because Carolina's going to need him to come in and just be a leader for this team, especially on the offensive side and in that running back room as well, as you got all these young guys coming in. So Carolina's got some options there in the running back room, but I'm really excited to see what Caleb Hood does there. And Chris Culliver is a guy with a lot of potential. Got to make sure he's making some catches. Like last week, he had a throw Gio put right in his daggum chest, and it hit his hands and it just fell to the ground. Can't have that. Cannot have that with Chris. Can't have that from the wide receivers. Was really excited to see Jake Johnson. Last year, he had some moments. But he was really in more or less just kind of like a tutelage stage last year under Bryson Nesbitt and John Copenhaver. So they definitely need to. I'm glad to see that he's coming in. He's already kind of playing like a senior. Just a guy that has been there, done that, and which is good. You need him to come in and be a solid piece for you. As well. But offensive line as a whole has got to play well. Aiden Banfield, struck lightning in a bottle last year, and he needs to become more grounded. I was actually very happy with Aiden Buchanan, the true freshman that came in, number 72, and played left tackle. Thought he did a great job yesterday, on Monday night. So yeah, I'm excited to see him continue to play. I hope to God he's able to stay with this team, because I don't want anything happening to him. We want to keep that guy in there, as we need some guys on the offensive line. Flipped the 4-star recruit from North Carolina, JB Shabazz, who has been committed to Tennessee for a while. Flipped to North Carolina this week. Potentially another flip on the horizon on Miami corner. So all hope is not lost for North Carolina. It was a bad game. There's some things that we got to watch for, and we've talked about them right now. They have to relax, chill out, and we as fans have got to chill out, relax, and understand, even though we might not want it to be, this may take a little bit of time. And the recruits, they're coming. They're committing. They want to be here. The recruit Trayshawn Ruffin came out last week after the game and was like, "Guys, relax, chill out. Like, we're good here. We're okay." Brand new team, 70 new players. This is the first time they're seeing each other. They haven't. Think about it. Gio Lopez, for Gio's sake, Gio wasn't here during spring. First time he's played with his guys really has been, over the last month and some change. So they're still trying to figure each other out and everything. This is going to take a minute. And Carolina, in my opinion, has got the perfect 3-game stretch to be able to come out and build some of that team chemistry, that continuity throughout the offense and the defense and on the coaching staff as well. So I'm excited for today. Today is going to be a very, very fun day for me. I've saw many of you guys going out there, and it seems like a lot of you going out there to the Charlotte game. I thought about going. I said last year I was going to go. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be hanging out here with you guys. But boy, it's an exciting time to be a Tar Heel fan, man. And we have to realize what we've got and realize that this is a project we're building from here. And we want to build where else we want to go. We want to get back to what we saw on Monday night, crowd-wise, energy-wise, so buzz-wise. We want to get back to that. And then we want to perform well. And we had the buzz. We had a taste of what everything was like. On Monday night, we got a taste of what being the buzz of college football is what it's about, what it's like to be one of those top teams everybody talks about every year, and those game day atmospheres. We can be that. It's possible at North Carolina. We just got to build it the right way. All right. Belichick and the staff tore it down to the studs. And honestly, quite frankly, they ripped the whole building down and said, "Hey, we're going to build a brand new one. This is what we're going to do here." And we're going to go from there. So that is what we're seeing at North Carolina right now. And it's okay. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how this team does. They're going to send us on an emotional roller coaster this year. I can already see that now. But we just got to relax and chill out. This is year 1. Let's see what year 2 does. Let's see what year 3 does. Today is not bellwether, just a game. That's right. There you go. It's time to get out there and attack, man. Talent, more talent, says Brett Weeks. And I 100% agree with you, dude. All the talent in the world we need. Belichick and the staff are collecting talent in the recruitment ranks. I'll be excited to see what they also do in the transfer portal when that comes later on. I think they just did away with the spring transfer portal, and there's only one portal window now, and that's during January. If I saw that all correctly this week, which will be big especially for a guy like Belichick. Coming in and brand new coaches, that'll help them a lot because they ain't got to worry about losing their roster in daggum April or May. They ain't got to worry about losing the roster. They can come in January, say, "Okay, this is what we got," and we can go on from here. So, we're gonna get out of here, man. We're gonna get ready for game day, or the watch party right here in just a little over 3 hours, 6 p.m. tonight, live on YouTube, Twitter, and also Facebook. We're going to be live watching North Carolina take on the Charlotte 49ers. It is going to be an exciting day and an exciting night, and hopefully you guys are ready for it. I know I'm ready for it. It's going to be a good time. We hope to see you guys out there. Come hang out with us. Bring all your hot takes and everything with you as we go and have ourselves a fun time over at this watch party. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you joining in Tar Heel Game Day next weekend. Tar Heel Game Day will be live from Chapel Hill. I'll be up there for the Richmond game, and I'll be talking to you guys a little bit more this week. We got Sunday Tar Heel tomorrow. It'll be the first Sunday Tar Heel we've had since the first 2 games have been played. So we'll have that for you guys tomorrow, and also I'll be talking about for those of you that know, I got hired by UNC. The UNC football event management staff, whatever the case, to be an usher for them this year. I have my section numbers. I know exactly where I'll be, so you guys can come out there and come see me and say hello. I know I've had a number of people ask me about that. So looking forward to seeing what this team is all about tonight and how they respond. They respond poorly. We're going to have some things to say, but I expect them to respond very well, and I want to see it, brought out against Charlotte. Bring out all the wrath on the 49ers tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always, go Heels. See you guys tonight.